but I started to develop my own style or my aesthetics, and it was hard to find songs that really fitted in my personal tastes and musical tastes. Those were hard to find within the accordion repertoire. So it really became a searching process to find nice music in my taste. I don't know, then that's when I started to realize, okay, but maybe if it doesn't exist what I want to do, or if I'm picky, maybe I could just start making stuff myself, or I don't know, write my own music. Yeah.
Welcome to For the Record, a casual, mostly unedited conversation series presented by Greenmap, where we speak with music heads about their stories and the music that makes them. I'm your host, McKeegan Voice.
Today on episode 45, I chatted with Suzan Peeters. Suzan is a Belgian accordionist, composer, and experimentalist. She studied classical accordion at KASK Conservatorium in Ghent and at the Royal Danish Academy of Music in Copenhagen. She's currently studying live electronics at the Royal Conservatory of Brussels, while constantly on the lookout for new timbres and textures within the accordion, pushing its acoustic spectrum to its limits by manipulating the interplay between her body and the body of her instrument. We chatted about all of this, and of course, there's lots of great music mentions throughout. Hope you enjoy.
Hey Suzan, it's great to have you here.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Indeed. And before this, we were just chatting about some of the upcoming gigs and shows that you're currently arranging and preparing for. But before we dive into those, I would love to start a bit earlier and dive into the origins of your relationship with music, where you grew up, how you spent time, and when that relationship really started.
I mean, I grew up in a small city called Sint-Niklaas in Belgium, a small city close to Antwerp. And music has always been part of our family, sort of, because my dad is very musical. He always has been playing the piano. He loves jazz music, so he plays a lot of jazz piano, and he's a bit of an autodidact. Like he taught himself how to play jazz, and he's pretty good actually. He has a very musical, very good pair of ears. He can just play any song. That he's kind of a jukebox. You can ask him anything, and he will just play it right away. And so music has been very present in my home, because he was just playing a lot during the weekends, and so it was kind of logical to start playing music as well. And my sister started to piano as well, my older sister, but I wanted to do something different. And I also thought it was important to be able to take my instrument with me and to be able to play on different places without needing a piano. So I wanted to do something else, and then I thought the accordion was a nice alternative, because it's still a bit family of the piano in a way, because it's not an instrument. But to me, it seemed like a portable piano. So I think that's why I chose the accordion when I was about 8 years old back then. Yeah.
Got it. Did I mean at that point, did you know any accordion players? Like, were you a fan of accordion music, or did it just feel like, here's an accordion, like here's a piano that I can carry around with me?
Well, it was, in fact, that year that I had to choose an instrument. I remember that Belgium was also participating in the Eurovision Song Contest, but for kids, the kids version.
Okay.
During that year, there were 2 boys who participated for Belgium. They didn't make it to the final song thing, but I was obsessed. I was a big fan, and I think that also influenced my choice because those 2 boys who played the accordion, I thought they were very cool. But except for them, I didn't know any accordionists. No, not at all.
Cool. Yeah, I'm I don't know that many accordion players, to be honest, although I love the instrument. I'm curious if you could walk us through, kind of your early journey with the instrument. Did your dad approve? As someone who loved the piano, was he a fan of the accordion? What was it like starting to learn? Yeah, I mean, how did it grow from there?
I in the beginning it was it's not easy to learn the instrument in the very beginning because it's a lot of buttons and it can seem a bit confusing. So it was a bit tough to get through that first couple of months, and my teacher was pretty strict as well. Very structured but very strict, but very correct as well. It was a very good teacher. But yeah, after a couple of months, I really started to like it, and we really start to learn songs, because then it was, I started in October or something, and then before you know, it's Christmas, and then you play Jingle Bells and all the and those kind of songs. Yeah, and then you have to play it on the family parties and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I took it very seriously from the very beginning, actually. Yeah, the teacher always asked to prepare a certain song, or they always made a goal for the next week, for the next lesson, and I made sure that I was able to play a new song when we were 1 week later, because it was very important to me. I don't know, I just took it very seriously and not just as a hobby. I don't know why. Because I remember I was at school during the day and I was thinking about, oh no, I still need to practice tonight because I need to be able to play the song because tomorrow I have a lesson or something. So yeah, it was always in the back of my mind. And of course, then if you practice a lot, so you're getting better at it, and then it also becomes more fun because you're starting to get good at it, and then you want to become even better. So yeah, it was kind of this circle, but it was really nice. I was in a good flow to learn and to discover the instrument.
Was there a moment that you can recall when when your relationship with the accordion changed from just being this thing you were interested in, the instrument, like that you wanted, to have be your vehicle, for musical expression, to being something that you really loved, something that you felt passionate about?
You mean if there was a moment where this realization, or?
Yeah, when it became something more than like, in the back of your head, like I need to spend time in this song because I have a lesson coming up or something, to like, I love this thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a weird path because it was a bit I had a double relationship with the instrument, because on one hand, of course, there is a lot of folk music, but also a lot of chanson and musette, and the typical accordion repertoire that then my teacher would give me, and then I actually didn't really like it. And I remember I mean, as a kid, everything is fun, and I loved to play any song. But when I started to get older, I became more picky on the songs that my teacher would give me, and sometimes I would say no, I don't want to play. No, this I really don't like. This is too accordion-y for me. No, thank you. And then it must have been tough for my teacher to like, oh, okay, so I need to find something else, something a bit more atypical, or I don't know. But I started to develop my own style or my aesthetics, and it was hard to find songs that really fitted in my personal tastes, my musical tastes. Those were hard to find within the accordion repertoire.
Yeah.
So it really became a searching process to find nice music in my taste. And I don't know, then that's when I started to realize, okay, but maybe if it doesn't exist what I want to do, or if I'm picky, maybe I could just start making stuff myself, or I don't know, write my own music. Yeah, what I like to play. So that's when it started. This process.
Cool. Can you describe a little bit, as you were discovering your aesthetics, or at least discovering the things that did not fit within your taste? What were the things that did? What were the things that you were hearing like, okay, yeah, this thing I like. This isn't like too accordion-y. This is this fits me.
I liked it when the music was a bit when it was a bit melancholic. So not like the and accordion. You like the better accordions, the more quality accordions. They actually have in the left hand not only chords that you can play, because usually you play in one hand the melody, and in the other hand you play chords to accompany your melody. And this is more for like traditional music most of the time. But there is also a system that you can swap. There's like a big button in the left hand, and then you can swap, and then you can also play a melody in the left hand. You play two different melodies in both hands, just like a piano can do. That's the point when you can start playing polyphonic music, and then it becomes very interesting, because this gives you a lot of more possibilities to play different types of music. So and this system is called the free bass, or the melody bass, sort of, in the left hand. And once I learned this system, then I really started to like the pieces that were written for when you could play two melodies at the same time. And then I really like to play minimal music, or repetitive music, and music that have a little bit this melancholic part in it. Pieces that were a bit more slow, and not these like virtuosity, like that. A lot of Russian songs, for example, there you really have to show off your skills as fast as you can. But for me, like that was not what I like to play the most. I like to really express my feelings in it,
Yeah, I hear that. Can you give me some examples of like some of the minimal music that you were playing? I'm a huge fan of minimalism, so I'd be curious to hear what you
were. Well, there is this. It's actually also a folk musician and composer, Maria Kalaniemi, and she's a Finnish composer. and she has written a lot of accordion music, and it's often it's folk, but it's often in a minimal way. So really slow development or short motifs, fragments that I enjoy to play. But also, this is a Belgian accordionist, Sara Salvérius, and she also composed a lot of music, and actually a bit not the same as Maria Kalaniemi, but it's also in very slow and verbal music. And she also released her music in scores that you can actually buy and play yourself. And this kind of music. I don't. Yeah. Did I play? I did play some music of Philip Glass as well. There was not a lot.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. And then at what point did you decide that, like, this is what I want to do? Like, this is what I want to study. This is what I want to pursue. This is how I want to spend my time. And, kind of turn it into a career path.
Yeah, at the point, you finish high school and what's next?
Yeah.
And I was really in doubt whether I should continue the accordion or not. I really loved playing, but for me it was super stressful. Every time that there was a concert, like a class concert, and you had to play in front of the other students. Of course, I always music of scores, so it was pretty stressful. I remember I was very stressed for my exam in the music academy when I was 18 years old. I was so stressed, and I remember that after that I decided, okay, but I will just quit, because this is actually this is not fun. This is not gonna make me happy. I don't want this ever again. But however, the exam went well, and I had a really nice score in the end. And my teacher was of course a bit disappointed when I told him about, okay, I think I will quit because I can't do this anymore. I'm gonna try it, but I just wasn't really convinced about the classical music department. I wasn't sure if this would be the right path for me. But I knew that I loved playing the accordion, so I thought I'll just give it a try. And I was very lucky to end up having a very open-minded teacher in the conservatory in Ghent. That's where I studied. And he was very creative, also next to being a classical of jazz here, to have a teacher like this. Philippe Thuriot is his name, by the way. And he was just great to discover new paths together with me and support me in this searching process. Yeah.
Cool. I'm happy to hear that. I had kind of a similar experience when I was studying music, and it was, kind of an antiquated music department, with the same thing, studying opera and things like that. Not necessarily something I'm passionate about. And it really took a couple professors who were more open-minded, spent more time with things like minimalism and other types. I wouldn't consider minimalism to be experimental necessarily. Yeah, I don't know, at least not today. But like other paths like this, and then once you realize that there are people down these paths and these are options as well, then that's when it gets exciting again. So yeah, I hear that.
Yeah, exactly.
You mentioned at the beginning that you are excited about some shows and gigs that are coming up. Can you talk about those a bit?
Yes. I've been playing a lot in Belgium the past 2 years, and now there are some gigs outside of Belgium coming up too, so that's really nice. I'll be playing in Munich the 20th of September in Taxi Salon, and yeah, I'm really excited for that. Then I will also be playing in Lausanne. That is in November somewhere, 20th of November or something, written on my website to know when I have to play. But it's the LUFF festival, so the Lausanne Festival for Experimental Music.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really nice. And also we'll be playing at Sonda Festival. That one is just confirmed, so I still need to fill it on the website to add it to the list. But yeah, Sonda Festival, and that is in Brno, in the Czech Republic, so pretty close to Vienna. So yeah, those are the 3 gigs outside of Belgium, and next to that, some other stuff coming up, different other gigs, but those are all around Flanders or in Brussels. That's where I live. So yeah, it will be a busy couple of months coming up.
Cool.
Yeah,
That's exciting. Mark, who's recording this episode, actually lived in Brno for about 12 years.
Ah, really? Okay.
Yeah, the first time we ever met in person was in Brno. So it's a cool town.
Okay, cool.
So are you making music full time? Is that what you're doing? Is that how you're spending your time?
Actually, I'm also teaching the accordions and also adults. So for now, I am combining it, making music and teaching, and I really like the combination, actually. So yeah, I still don't have a degree for teaching, and that's something I'm now in doubt. Should I study for becoming a teacher as well? But then you need to study another 2 or 3 years, and that might be hard to combine as well. So we'll see. But for now, I'm really enjoying this combo of not only relying on your artistic practices, but having this teaching as well on the side.
Cool. What's the scene like in Brussels? Yeah, I mean, in general, like, how do you are there cool clubs, cool experimental spaces? Do you play often there?
Yeah, Brussels is amazing for experimental music. Yeah, I discovered so many nice places, so many nice musicians that I got to know. I've been living here for 2 years now, and yeah, it's has been such a nice time here. Every week there are so many things going on at different hidden places, and a lot of the times the same people are showing up. So yeah, it becomes a little family or something. It's really nice because it's a big city, but still it feels also small and cozy because the same musicians you see it at every gig that is going on in Brussels, and it's a very nice underground scene in Brussels.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'll have to remember that next time I go to Brussels. I would love to check it out. But yeah, I mean, I think that's the case in most cities in terms of like the experimental scenes. Like, you really have to know where to look. But then once you do, you realize that it's a very close-knit community of people who are oftentimes frequenting the same spaces and doing similar things. Cool. Actually, that's a good segue into part 2 of this interview, where I ask you some questions about who those people that you enjoy listening to are. And the first thing that I'm curious about is how you discover music. And if you could answer that question through some of your favorite curators, or outlets, platforms, or I guess in a live sense as well. Could be venues, things like that too.
Yeah, I think I discover music by, of course, going to concerts, or I don't know, people talking to other people or musicians who recommend certain certain albums or certain artists that I didn't know before. And even Spotify is doing a good job in recommending music that fits to your other music that you're already listening to. So that's also something that I've been amazed by. For some Danish artists as well, or Scandinavian artists. But then afterwards, when I came back, like Spotify kept on recommending Scandinavian music, even though I was not living there anymore. And that's when I got to know like TLF Trio, which I really like. The TLF, just looking it up. They have this album called Sweet Harmony. And it's so nice. I really like also the minimal aspect and the repetitive aspect, and because it's kind of jazz, kind of not really jazz. I don't know. It's hard to describe. And there is this one cellist playing in this trio, and she has a solo project as well, which I checked out. And it's called CTM. And CTM. I think she's Danish as well, and I really love her album Ghent, because it's just solo cello, some subtle effects on it.
Cool.
Very repetitive, but I love it so much.
Cool. I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess relatedly to that, who are 3 artists of note that you've heard for the past time, and it doesn't have to be new music, just new to you.
New to me.
Yeah.
I always get these errors with the question, like, which music do you listen to?
I know. I'm trying to ask like slightly more nuanced questions than that to really target it. But yeah, it's
well, I really like Able Noise, or it's called, it's written ABLE, and then but I know Alex, the drummer of the band, and he once asked me to play in The Hague, where he sometimes organizes concerts. And so this is his duo band, existing drums and guitar. And it's really nice. I've seen them playing live, and it was great. They played last year in Brussels. And they will be releasing their first album soon. Now they've dropped the first 2 songs already. And I'm super curious to the rest of the album, because I think the first songs that they released are already fire. Now I'm scrolling a bit further through my I listen to a lot of Belgian music as well. Bex, BEX. It's written.
Okay.
Yeah, and she also just released her first album, and it's a bit. It's hard to describe, but it's kind of indie jazz. I don't know, but it's really, really nice music. And she will be playing as well in Brussels soon. Oh, that must be like one of the upcoming days. Anyways, she's an amazing singer and amazing composer as well.
Cool.
Cover music. And next to that, yeah, Astrid Sonne, I also really like.
Astrid Solna?
Yeah, she's also a Danish violinist and electronic musician.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, super nice album she released earlier this year, I think in February or something. Yeah, super nice.
Cool.
Lucy Railton also, but she's a cellist as well. I have a crush on cello. I don't know why.
It's a beautiful instrument.
Yeah, I think if I wouldn't have played the accordion, I would love to play cello. Or if I had to choose a second instrument for sure.
You could still do it.
I could, but it's really hard to learn an instrument when you're older, when you're already an adult. It's really tough.
Yeah, true.
Because it's a slow process.
But I think it's easier if you're already, really familiar with another instrument,
Yeah.
Translate that.
However, it's a string instrument, so it's
I know it's
way different.
Yeah. Well,
But maybe, yeah. Who knows? When I get tired of the accordion.
Yeah. Okay, my next question for you. What, if you can remember, is the first album you ever purchased, and then what is the most recent?
First album I ever purchased. Oh, that's tough. Yeah, I remember I had a small iPod.
Mm-hmm.
And I shared the same iTunes account as my older sister. And she downloaded all these albums and types of music. It was a really nice mix of film music and jazz and also pop music. But she really influenced my musical taste because it was very easy. I just listened to whatever she bought and what she downloaded. But that's why I was also a bit lazy and not really buying music myself because my sister did it for me. So then I was already a bit older when I first bought CDs. That was already kind of out of
range.
Yeah. And then were more like vinyls. I probably bought my first vinyl. That must have been one of Stuff. It's a band, also a Belgian band, like electronic jazz band. It's really cool.
What are they called?
Stuff. UFF.
Oh, cool. Oh man, good band name.
Yeah, really nice music. And I think that was the first vinyl I bought. This band, yeah. And then the most recent one, what was the last vinyl? I think maybe from the one from Evje de Visser, maybe. It's a Dutch artist who's living in Belgium as well now. Evje de Visser. Also really.
Can you spell that for me?
It's a EEFJE.
Okay.
Evje, and then DE, and then like Fisher, but in Dutch it's V Iser.
Ah,
Yeah,
Ifalitsu. Okay, got it. Thank you.
there you go.
Cool. All right, now here's the big question for you. You're going to a desert island and you get to bring 3 albums with you. What are they?
Ooh, I think probably the album Het Wiel from Hendrik Lazure. I'm sorry, it's another
No, it's great.
artist.
It's more new music for me and everybody listening.
Yeah, so yeah, Het Wiel, Hendrik Lazure. Should I spell it as well?
Yeah, please.
So the artist it's HENDRIK, Hendrik.
Okay.
Lazure, LASURE.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's really, it's yeah, it's really beautiful. It's just his solo voice singing, and then yeah, accompanied by acoustic instruments. Very basic, because he has other projects as well where he uses lots of electronics as well. But this one is more an acoustic, back to the basics album, and it's super beautiful. I love this album so much. So that one I would take with me for sure. Then 2 other ones. Oh my god, it's really tough.
Yeah, it's an impossible question.
Yeah. Oh my god. I'm just scrolling through my albums once again. Yeah, I think also the Sweet Harmony album that I mentioned earlier from the LUFF trio. Yeah. Oh, and yeah, maybe also the one from Oren Ambarchi.
Oren Ambarchi?
Yeah, Ambarchi. The one Grapes from the Estate.
Grapes from the Estate.
Yeah, that one I really love as well. But that, yeah, especially you really need to wear headphones with this. It's very panned music and very like subtle. Yeah, little noises, and it's super beautiful. I love it so much.
Okay, amazing. A lot of new music in this episode for me. Actually, I don't know if you've said to anybody that I knew, which is amazing.
Yeah, I think it's very niche, I think, what I listen to.
Yeah, but I appreciate that. And that's like one of the reasons that we do this series, you know, to discover new worlds, right?
Yes.
But yeah, Suzanne, that was the last question, really.
All right.
You made it through. You know, for people who, you know, who are listening, who want to get involved, who want to follow along, you know, with your music or come see you play, if they happen to be in one of the places you're going to be playing, where is a good place for them to do that?
On my Instagram and on my website as well, which is also linked on my Instagram. So cool. Let's just say Instagram. That will be the easiest way. Right.
Yeah, no problem at all. But yeah, that's all we've got, Suzanne. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing all of this new music that I'm going to dive into immediately after we get off this call. You know, wish you the best as you continue to play and play outside of Belgium and continue to exercise the accordion.
All right, great. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks everyone for being here. that is a wrap on another episode of For the Record, a conversation series with all manner of music heads about their stories and the music that makes them. It's a production of Grey Matter and the new Crate Coalition experiment in building connective listening graphs. We stamp every music mention that you heard here, from the names of musicians to DJs to journalists to venue owners. And in the background, we're mapping these names to form those yet unseen connective threads between people. Want to get involved? Check out our website, greymatter.fm. It's Grey with an E. Or you can come hang out in the Crate Coalition Discord. We'll see you next time.